It's April 14th, and the real sad part about my setup here is there's just not that much light. And any of the plants that aren't getting good light are clearly not happy. So I wish my living room here had windows that surrounded the whole perimeter, and I wish it had a skylight type roof, like a glass roof on this portion that went across this whole thing and let the sun in, because the sun comes in from the back of the house most of the day and then comes in through these windows in the evening, and that's a real problem for keeping these plants healthy. These kidney beans here, they're just awesome. They're doing great. They're by the window. They're getting enough light. They don't get a lot of direct sunlight, but that's the problem. Is you need a lot of direct sunlight, or enough like skylights and light coming into the place that allows what you see outside coming in. And like the things like the herbs here are doing great, and there's the peppers, and they're doing pretty good. But the plants, like in the corner here, like I got the peas, and they're doing okay. They're not doing bad, but you can tell it. They're just not quite really happy. The leaves are kind of curling up a little bit, and like I said, this. When I first started this as kidney beans, like that looks like sad. Those onions, they did grow roots. I took a picture to post in my project later on. They did grow roots, but I've got about 3 harvests off them, and they no longer are producing properly. So I was hoping that they would root and continue to grow, but chives, right? I mean, just plant some chives and everything's pretty chill there. You have onions basically. So I just was doing a little project there. But yeah, if you plant them, you can get about 3 times the harvest out of them. So what has happened, here's some tomatoes, is I put them outside over here. There's that table out there. It was sunny out. It was kind of mid-after, like early morning, afternoonish. But the temperature was it was cool. And there was a lesson learned that the cool temperatures, like, it might have been 5 or so degrees, it shocked the heck out of them, and they didn't like it. I thought maybe it was because the sunlight was too intense for them, because they're not used to it. They don't get a lot of sun here. But I did a little test project, and I put the green peppers, which also did the same thing while they're out there. They wilted and almost died. I put them out in my garage where the sun was beating in the corner and it was warmer, and it loved it. It had no problem when I brought it in at the end of the day. It didn't wilt or anything. It was completely happy. So it's a determination that do not put your plants out when they're sunny if the temperature is fairly cool. There's a cool feel to the air. You probably want to be putting plants out at least plus 10 or more, maybe 15 degrees. I don't know what the magic number is, but I'm sure online there's some information with it. But if you go outside and it feels fairly warm and comfortable, I'm thinking it'll be okay for the plants. If you go outside and go, that has a cool breeze or a feel to the air, well then it's probably really bad for the plants. So here's the cucumbers. They're all growing, the new ones. I got the zucchini here. I don't know why I'm growing it in here, but I've clipped off all the flowers off this one, and it looks like now it's in veg state with the longer sun hours. We're getting like 12 hours a day like now. And I left the flowers on this one, and they're dying off up there more. There's one or few of them that are still there. We'll see what happens to them. And I got the pickling cucumbers. They're not looking like they're doing too good. Again, probably not enough sunlight. And they're flowering, but it doesn't look like there's any female flowers yet coming out of them. Well, I'll do a test and try to pollinate them. So my watermelon looks kind of happy. There's the cantaloupe behind it. And it's doing okay. There's a couple of leaves down on it, but for the most part it looks healthy. And I think those are cool indoor plants to have, like the watermelons and the fruits that you can grow like that. They're vines, and they like to be warm. And if you have a nice sunny window, like if this was sunny all the day, it'd be awesome. I'm sure you do well with it. So here's some kiwi plants. They're doing so awesome in the eggshells. Everything that had grown eggshells are growing like twice as big. They're doing well. So things that are growing eggshells do really well. They are a great fertilizer for the plants. Because I got the kiwi plants up here, and they're not getting a lot of sunlight, but they're not doing nearly as good as these. So that's sort of the update right now. A couple of tips about how to keep your garden nice indoor if you have the right atmosphere for it. And as the weather gets warmer, I'll be expanding this to the outdoors and doing your outdoor gardening, and hopefully I can figure out a way to keep this going year round. There's a few things like tomatoes. I'm sure you can grow tomatoes. And maybe I could get the peppers to work all year round. Kidney beans and stuff like that I can have all year round. I get the herbs are year round. I could probably keep those going. Who knows if the peas will work or not. It's the light problem. So later on in the future, maybe I'll do a whole upgrade on this if I move into a newer house where I can have a nice sun area that would be like this to put my hanging baskets. That would be nice. I'd love if this house had it, but I really don't want to stay in this area, and I look forward to actually moving down south sometime. And if you do live down south, that's great. But I wish I could be up north here and do this in a way better lit area where the daylight comes in more often. But it's a clear thing that the lower light hours does put the plants into flower when they're first starting out. It's obvious. But we'll see how it all works out later in the winter as I do this. If it just, you can't grow them, it's impossible at the late hours if there's certain things that will work or won't work in those hours. So, I mean, it's just a project, it's kind of fun, and that's that.